All right, lesson 3.4. Our learning goal is still solving equations. We are just learning how to solve all different types of equations. By the way, this is not on your quiz tomorrow because this starts 3.4. Okay, so very specifically, this is going into variables on both sides. Everything we've been doing so far, you've only had variables on one side of the equation. All right, so the only thing that changes here is now I have to be able to get variables on opposite sides too. Do you guys remember how to do this? Did you see this last year? John? You're exactly right. Do you know how I need to combine the variables? You would like to add 8x to both sides? Okay, you can do that. I usually try to, first of all, I always put variables together first. I think it causes a lot less issues in the long run. I also try to get rid of as many negatives as I can. So I would agree with John, and since this is already a -8, I would probably go ahead and add 8 to both sides. But if you don't like that, you could also subtract 4 from both sides. There's so many different ways to do these correctly, and you can do them however you want. All right, so on this side I would have 12x minus 17. From here, that's a basic two-step equation. So now I just need to add 17 to both sides. So I get 24 equals 12x. Divide both sides by 12. And x equals 2. As these get larger, which they will, please make sure that you guys slow down, you're taking your time, you're not making silly mistakes like I did earlier. That's one reason I like the line. Did you guys notice that if the x was on this side, I left it on this side? If that bothers you, you're welcome to write it at the end, but I would not change the order of anything while you're working them because they get big, very, very large. All right, let's try example 2. All right, I want you guys to tell me whether we should distribute or multiply by the reciprocal and give me a reason why you are going with that thought. Jawan?
You should multiply by the reciprocal.
Why?
Because, you doesn't distribute the
4 won't go into 60, you think?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, now let me show you something else too. Now, there's nothing wrong with what Jawan said other than 4 does go into 60. But if you want to multiply by the reciprocal, I'm going to do it in pencil so you can see. If I multiply this side by 4/1, then I got to come over here and multiply this whole side over here, which means I'm going to have to distribute. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that if you want. So, but probably what I would do is go ahead and distribute the 1/4 because it will go into 16 and 60. But you can do it however you want. All right, so I'm going to distribute this. So 1/4 of 16 is 4x, and 1/4 of 60 is 15. Okay, now we're right back to where we were a second ago. I think if it were me, I would probably subtract 4x from both sides, because if I subtract 9x, I'm going to get a negative. I try to stay away from negatives if I can. You can. I will caution you against doing that, though, because in some problems, they become really goofy. And I can show you one from earlier today that I did with my digits kids, because believe it or not, they're doing the same thing. And it really, really threw them off. Because digits is not necessarily easier. It's just different.
The one makes this class
You're getting your high school credit. You go a lot further. This class will do a lot more than they'll do. But right now, they're on the same learning goal. No. All right, and then divide by 5. And x equals 4. Okay, notice they're getting longer. All right, last example we're going to look at, and then we'll do a little bit of practice to make sure you guys can do this. All right, what would you like to do here? Multiply by the reciprocal, or would you like to distribute? Why? Okay, 3 will go into 6 and 15, so it's going to get rid of our fraction. So we're going to have to make sure that we know how to take 2/3 times 6.
That will be.
Okay, so if you need to come out to the side, that is okay, and you would get 4. So this would be 4y, and then you need to do 2/3 of 15.
8, 11.
How? Okay, and I can do this mentally too. Somebody explain how you're doing that mentally for somebody else who's not. Davis?
So you take like the you have 3 parts of your 60 and 2 you have 4 and 6. You take that second part, there's 2 of them, and then you do the same thing with 15. So you take 5 and 15.
Very good.
Second part.
Perfect. And anytime we can talk about those mental strategies, he's dividing 15 into 3 parts. 15 into 3 parts is 5, and we're taking 2/3 of that, which is 10. So that's how they're doing it in their head. All right, so plus 10, and this is 8y minus 6. All right, and then from here, now this should be easy. Easy cheesy, lemon, squeezy. All right, minus 6 equals 10. Add 6.
Before we go any further,
Yeah?
I need to say something about Davis.
You need to say something about Davis. You realize you're being recorded right now. Okay.
Davis is going to be teaching me business. Did you
Davis
really
is
tell me
gonna be
explain
teacher?
that? He was like, so you got your 4, then you got your 8.